What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, February 28th, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the OK Beast Blessing, Adioye Jr.
Greg Miller.
Yeah,
Is Kool-Aid Man the jar or the liquid?
the jar.
The jar. Barrett, bring this up. I sent this to assets. The people need to see this.
This is the breaking news of Games
This is the
Daily
breaking
on a
news.
Friday.
I saw this morning, and I legit
Is the
couldn't
Kool-Aid
stop
Man the jar?
laughing.
Well, here's the thing: is I feel like it's first off, that's horrifying. If
Right?
you're an audio listener, and you need to go look at what the shit the liquid would be.
Legit, I looked at this, I couldn't stop laughing at it this morning.
The problem is I've seen it. It's for sure Kool-Aid Man is the jar. We've seen it before of him half full or whatever. And I think I've
Have
seen
we
him
seen
empty.
Where have we seen
Maybe,
that?
maybe not canon commercials, but I
I was
feel
saying,
like
was that Family Guy? Or was that like
oh shit, God, it might be Family Guy.
yeah, it might be Family
huh?
Guy, or it might be like Robot Chicken or whatever, where he's portrayed.
God damn,
as such.
him as the liquid is horrific. There's got to be somewhere where he's splashed around and gone underneath his eyebrow, right? Like that would be like the thing I would think. I'm looking at classic Kool-Aid Man commercial compilation. Oh yeah,
This is like a philosophical question, because I feel like we ask this about ourselves all the time, right? Like, what is Barrett? Is Barrett the brain? Is Barrett the face? Is Barrett the whole body?
Sure.
Or am I the liquid?
or is Barrett the liquid? 70% of our body is made of water.
I think it's a fun question, but I think for sure he's the jar.
I don't know if I buy it.
I'm looking. I'm trying to. This is classic '80s. I guess they'll never get. There has to be. Well, give me a modern Kool-Aid commercial.
Is he still? I haven't seen Kool-Aid Man in a minute. Is he still relevant? Like, is he still around?
I mean,
Did he get
Twitter
retired?
is still very around.
here? Oh yeah, here we go. This is from 2 years ago. Oh yeah. See, okay, proves it without a doubt where we're standing. Barrett, I'm sending this over to which one you want? Control.
Yeah.
Sending it to Control.
if he's the jar,
this is a modern Kool-Aid Man take.
okay.
And I think this will put it. See, look at him right
Oh.
there. See, and like you see, it's the face and shit is on the jar.
I don't know, man. It looks like
What do
it
you
might
mean
be
you
the
don't
liquid.
know?
It might be the liquid.
It looks like he might be the liquid. Like the way he's talking, it looked like it could be like
Why is this 13
Well, it's all of them. Let it play. The next one, I
Who's
was.
this kid?
Is this a compilation?
It's fucking Kool-Aid. I don't know. Look at his eyebrow just went above the liquid line. His eyebrow just went, and the last shot went above the liquid line, proving that in fact Kool-Aid Man is the jar.
What if he's
I don't
both?
know. I'm not convinced.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Kool-Aid Man without
Oh, God.
the liquid. No, look at
Okay,
that.
no, you're
Holy
right.
shit.
Well, there's still liquid in that jar.
See, I think. Shit. Fuck. So yeah. Shit. Does Kool-Aid Man need Kool-Aid in him or liquid inside of him to be anything?
Yeah.
That's a really cute commercial, though, right there.
Or is it like he's naked? Like if he pours the liquid out,
definitely-
is he naked?
See, I feel like if you I don't think it's. I'm going out on a ledge to say this that like the liquid is his blood, right?
Oh, no.
So if he's a bone dry jar, he's a lot like Frosty the Snowman. If he's completely bone dry, then I would say he's just a jar. I think he's like Frosty the Snowman, like when you put the hat on him or you fill him with liquid.
Okay.
Obviously, when you put a hat on Frosty the Snowman, he becomes Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
When he's just a jar sitting there, he's just a jar. You fill him with Kool-Aid, he gets
That's
all
his
powered
lifeblood.
up.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can see that. That makes a lot of sense.
That is like the combination we're all looking for.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we're all on the same page about this. There's a lot about Kool-Aid. We'll talk about more, though. So, like this. What's Kojima teasing? What's Riot's next game? And what is Borderlands planning? This, ladies and gentlemen, we'll answer all those questions because it's Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. Patreon.com/kindafunnygames. You can go there. You can get the show ad-free. You can get it with an exclusive post show. You can ask your questions, submit your squad ups, and just have a ball with me and Blessing, whoever else hosts the damn show. Of course, if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can go to twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Watch us record the show live. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. I knew there would already be fucking corrections in here about the goddamn Kool-Aid Man. Some guy says, kind of fun fact, the Kool-Aid Man was a backup singer in Madonna's Material Girl. And I don't know if he means the voice or if he means Kool-Aid is in the back of that thing. And then Frankfurter says the jar is his body and the liquid is his soul. So there are your corrections so far. Go ahead and do that, but get serious. We're talking about a real game show here. Of course, you can watch later, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and of course, podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you today. IGN is putting on a live stream celebrating Black History Month, and Blessing Adeoye Jr. himself
Yes.
is going to go over there and be a part of it.
Yes.
You excited?
Yes.
God, you gotta crank it up. You represent us now. When you go
I
there.
am excited. I'm somewhat nervous because like I'm gonna be interviewing people. I'm gonna be hosting some bits. But
What do you know? Hold on, I haven't read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Starting at 1:30 p.m., come hang out as Blessing and others get to talk to Black folks in the games industry about. You wrote this.
Yeah, I wrote this. Yeah, no, this is me. This is my
That's the
voice.
only way that can sound like I'm being about their experiences breaking into games. It's happening from 1:30 to 4:30 over on IGN.com, and Blessing will be on it periodically, hanging out, playing games, interviewing folks, and more.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun time. It's gonna be me and Akeem Lawanson, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. Yeah, talking to people. We're gonna have guests from like EA and guests from, there's one guest that's like a Twitch caster or like a
cool.
fighting game caster, right? We're gonna get to
Not
talk
Golden
to
Boy,
him.
is it?
Not Golden Boy, no. And I can't remember their name, but you know, if you want to figure out who they are, tune in 1:30 p.m. over at IGN.com. It's gonna be a fun time.
What are you gonna wear?
This probably.
Oh man, cool.
Yeah.
You're gonna go on IGN and OKB shirt. That's cool.
Oh, I mean, you know, I gotta represent the brand.
This is your brand. You
Oh.
left for them.
Yeah, but like, you know, they have cool shirts.
Good God.
OKBeast.com/store.
Oh fuck you, fuck you, fuck you into the goddamn ground. Is the caster D1 says RHD.
There you go. Thank you.
No. Then another housekeeping for you, programming update. Remember, Zelda In Review is happening next week. It's an In Review special where the one and only boss baby Barrett Courtney is reviewing every Zelda game he played because he sat down and played them all again. He's ranking them and rediscovering what makes the Legend of Zelda special. It's popping on the Breath of the Wild's 3rd anniversary, March 3rd. That's next Tuesday. It's going to be a YouTube premiere at 2 p.m. Pacific on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. And I'll tell you, Barrett,
So
when you said you were doing this and you were filming the little bits and you and Tim were talking about it, you're going to cut it down and stuff, I was like, that'll be a really fun 30 to 45 minute video.
No.
How long is the final video?
3 hours and 57 minutes.
3
Wow.
hours and 57 minutes.
To be fair, I reviewed 11 different games.
Hey, I'm not like trying to put you down for it. or
So I
anything
feel like I don't like stay on one game for too long, you know? It goes at like a good pace. You know what I'm saying, Blessing?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. It's not like I'm spending 4 hours talking about one very mediocre movie in the DCEU, you know?
Okay, I was wondering what
I'm-
I was wondering what you're like throwing shots at.
I'm
For a second, I was
spending-
like, is this in
Shots
reference to like
fired, you
Gamescast
know?
or something? But okay,
I'm
so
spending
it's an
4
interview
hours
thing.
talking about 11 great games
Okay.
in the
They're
history
they're all
of
great.
video
How's the
games.
They're all
export?
great.
Is
What?
it exported?
They're all
Oh,
great.
it's exported.
Okay, so it's done.
I started the export at like 6:30.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because
because that sounds like if it's like 1080p or whatever, that's gonna be a long
Oh, yeah.
export.
I was
Oh,
talking to one of our industry friends who's a kind of funny fan
Yeah.
about it today because he was asking a bunch of questions.
Oh, yeah?
And I told him how long it was, and his response was going to be one long shower and or gym and or poop, I guess. And I said, it's the Irishman of kind of funny content.
Yeah, yeah.
You will break. We'll have to put out words of like, this is where we think you should break
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
have to break.
Oh,
it.
yeah, I'll have like time codes and stuff for all the different
Awesome.
segments after the YouTube premiere because YouTube premiere presents it as like a live video, so you can't skip ahead or anything.
This
So-
really could have been like a series, right?
I mean, we debated. Fun fact, like we did debate on like, did we want to break these up? Did we want to put in one long video? Like my original idea was to break it out into 2 different videos, but we thought this would be like the most fun way for everybody to experience it. And again, we'll have like time codes and shit like that, and descriptions for people who want to take breaks and skip around and shit like that. So, yeah. And then another fun thing, like this won't be. My first time playing some of the games, but it will be my first time playing a few of the games. So I talk about once I get to each game of like, oh, I've played this before, or oh, this is my first time experiencing it. It's a good old fun time as a Legend of Zelda fan who hasn't played all the games before.
Did I hear that right? That you're like, it won't be my first time playing some of the games, but it will be my first time playing a few of the games.
It's fucking early.
Dude, it's fucking Friday, and this week's been 19 days. Let's get into what is and forever. Oh, no, I got to do Patreon producer. Sorry, I was way behind. The screws are loose. It feels like it's day 9 of this
dude,
week.
I'm so tired for some
Did
reason.
you keep drinking last night after we recorded
no,
the under-80s?
but I think it lasted though.
I did. Everybody's like, I can't
Really?
believe you're still going. You've been
Oh,
drinking bourbon
wow.
since 11:30. I'm
Oh,
like, I got
no.
this.
I got home and I just went straight to bed.
That's fair. Thank you to our Patreon producers, James Davis, David Mindtell, Mindfreak, Mohammed, the nanobiologist, Frankfurter, Blackjack, Patrick Higgins, Travis Gajkowski, Drew Garnier Frutis, Dominic Shorter, Ginny Burnt, Joseph Solar, and Katie Gallagher. Today, we're brought to you by the Besties and the Gaming Ride Home podcast, but I'll tell you about that later. Damn. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be The Roper Report. Time for some news. 5 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Barrett, I didn't tell you ahead of time. Some of these are audio visuals, all right? So what I'm going to need for this first one is for sure you to pull up this tweet. Because we're starting. Why not? It's Friday. Let's all let our hair down. We'll get to telling you about who else pulled out of GDC in a second. Let's have some fun with rumors and speculation. Kojima Productions tweeted last night a tweet full of fucking weird teases that people are going on. So it says here, the first tweet is simple enough, right? Sorry to be silent, everyone. I've been really busy lately. ... I think I can say more soon about what we are going to ... Hashtag Kojima Productions. Now this was Aki, right, who was responding to Jay Bohr, who's the guy who just got hired to be the new communications director of all this. It all seems innocuous, right? But God forbid anything be innocuous on the internet, all right? So sorry to be silent, everyone. I've been really busy. ... I think I can say more soon about what we are going to ... Kojima Productions. And then it's a picture of Aki on his phone.
Enhance.
We're gonna have to. Luckily, everyone in the comments did enhance for us. So
okay.
We can just scroll down. But it's him with a pencil and a piece of paper, right? First thing people started pulling apart is, sorry to be silent. We all had to draw in on the silent. Why is he saying silent like that? Why would you say silent? Why would he say sorry to be quiet?
I don't know.
Silent, like Silent Hills.
Or quiet from Metal Gear
Metal
Solid.
Gear, yeah, also cool, right? But then it gets even more. They scroll it on a little bit more, Barrett. Look at that. It's a pencil that says Pyramid. Whoa. It's a Pyramid branded pencil.
Like quiet.
Pyramid Head. No, we're going to Silent Hills route.
Oh, okay.
Stop talking about quiet. All right.
She breathes through her skin, Greg.
I remember. I guess you could be like, her bikini had like pyramids. Like
that's what I was getting
cups?
to.
Is that what we're gonna say?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Did it?
So silent, then pyramid. Scroll down again to the enhancement though. The pad says next week.
Whoa.
What are we getting from Kojima Productions?
What are they doing? Because they're not announcing Silent Hills from Kojima Productions.
Can you imagine?
That's not happening. Can
you imagine if they were? if they were like, you know what, we're independent and now we're getting a contract from Konami and we're gonna do this. It won't happen.
It won't. I mean, it definitely won't happen. Which makes me wonder, like, why is this tweet constructed the way it is? Because it is constructed like they are trying to tease something, right? With the ... and the next week on the notepad, right? You have those two things. You start to read into things, and so the tweet opening up with the word silent, and then having the pyramid thing in there. I feel like they're leaving. They're teasing people in ways that I don't know if they're doing the Silent Hills thing on purpose, but maybe they should have thought that through a little bit more before they put this out.
They thought throw it back up there. All right, the tweet up there and show it to the kids, right? And then just there you go, and scroll down. Just look in the eyes of Jay Bohr. All right, I've known Jay Bohr for years. This motherfucker knows exactly what he's doing. This is them toying around. They are not announcing Silent Hills.
Barrett, can you zoom into his eyes?
What do we see reflecting?
I was gonna
back?
say, what's reflecting back from his eyes?
No, we can't.
It's probably
see.
just the
Jay's
monitor.
got
Actually,
nothing reflecting back. Yeah, exactly.
I don't even think I'd want Silent Hills from him. Because
I want something from them.
Well, I want something.
I'd love a horror game from them. What if they just do a horror game?
I mean, I would love a horror game, right? Yeah. Silent Hill specifically, right? We associate it with Guillermo del Toro, and we associate it with Norman Reedus, and we already got that game, right? Being Death Stranding. Right. And so I wouldn't want. I feel like putting out Silent Hills the way it was advertised before would be kind of confusing. When I feel that like a lot of Silent Hills elements were then fed into Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Even like the horror, like some of the horror elements were there through like the BTs and stuff. And so I wouldn't want Silent Hill specifically. I would want a horror game, and I would be excited for a Kojima Productions game announced or revealed next week. It feels very soon. That said, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5 was put out in fall 2015. I think it was like September 2015, and then Death Stranding. Well, Kojima Productions was announced in December 2015. So like a few months later, right? There was that video of Andrew House and Kojima on the couch, and Andrew House is like smiling, and he was like, "Oh, we're partnering with Kojima, right?"
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, we got the Death Stranding reveal at E3.
Yeah.
And so, like, I wouldn't put it past them to have such a quick turnaround. Like, that's not unheard of, especially from Kojima and Kojima Productions. That said, right, I feel like it's very soon. Still, even with that being the case, right, I couldn't imagine them having a substantial announcement next week, right? They could have an announcement that might not be a game. What that would be, I have no idea.
Here's the biggest thing about it, is that, you know, for the Kojima Productions fan base, right? Like, Aki's like, they know him, right? That's why the initial tweet of, "Hi all, Aki is still alive and he is head of communications. He's in Japan, I'm in the UK," and that was Jay saying that, right? It was kind of clarifying, I think, when they made a big deal about hiring Jay Bohr, that hey, we've hired Jay, and everybody's like, well, what about Aki, right? The then have this quote tweet pop up. And sorry to be silent, everyone. I've been really busy lately. I think I can say more soon about what we are going to ... Next week, I think it's going to be a change in his title or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing about why I don't, because you go to any of this thread of tweets there, you go on Reset Era, you look around, everybody's trying to pull in the fact that like, well, Kojima has been tweeting a lot this year about writing for a new game, and he's working on his next thing or whatever. I can tell you right now, the main reason this is going to be a thing for Kojima Productions fans next week and not for the world, right, is that Hideo Kojima is basically silent on it. Mm-hmm. He retweeted this exchange, right? But he's not out there doing his like, oh, what is this going to be or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if this was a new game reveal, if this was going to be a Silent Hills fucking reveal, somehow they did something crazy there, he'd be all over it. He would be a main player in like, look at what I'm tweeting, and is there something else here, and yada yada yada. This is them having fun and being a bunch of goofballs.
I mean, what do you take from the Silent Hills or the Silent in the Pyramid thing? Do you think those are just like them being cheeky or accidents?
Hold on, let me try one thing. Pyramid pencils.
are they a common pencil?
Yeah, because that's my thing, right? Like, yeah, they're just a brand of pencil. Like, it's just a pencil. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but he said silent.
So what? I
He
mean,
said
like, what do you
silent.
want him to say? It's a word you're using.
Just say quiet.
He didn't fucking put it in all caps. He didn't put it in things.
And he says ... and we have to look in the image for what he wrote, and it's like, oh, like
But
you want us to read into it.
We're talking about two people in charge of PR and communications. Of course, this is what they wanted.
Lou87 in the chat says
They played us like a damn fiddle.
Lou87 in the chat says Kojima is silent.
What's
Like
the next news
Silent
story?
Hills. I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it was
some
good.
fun today.
Well,
why is WB being silent? That's the real question, Barry. How many days?
Because they fucking hate me.
How many days?
How many days?
Since WB Montreal's last Batman tease.
Give me a couple minutes.
This would be a fun bet, though. When do you think Kojima Productions' next game is announced?
Well, I don't think it's this year. I would think next year.
Yeah, I put my money on 2021.
2021,
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
There's an outside chance, I guess. No, 2021. I bet PlayStation would love to have a teaser trailer at PlayStation 5 reveal, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, but that feels way
That's
too
too soon. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So yeah, next year maybe you drop that teaser trailer, do something there.
I can see it.
Okay,
It's
good.
been 50 days.
We're getting closer.
To what?
The August reveal.
God, I hate you, Blessing.
Number 2 on the Roper Report. This is another visual one because I'm just stealing the Joe Scrabbles and made up names IGN story.
He's a real person.
I'll tell you what. Joe Scrabbles has come up to me, I think now at a couple consecutive dices. All right, every time he looks a little bit different. So I'm just saying, is Joe Scrabble?
It's just a random person from the
weird-
IGN UK team.
It's just like
every
Thor.
single
Anybody
time.
can be Thor.
It's like, aren't you Simon Cardi? He's like, no, I'm Joe Scrabbles.
Yeah, anybody can be Thor if they pick up Mjolnir. Anybody can be Joe Scrabbles if they pick up British. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Simon Cardi, who should be the next 007. Just saying.
That's a reference I don't get. Did Riot's new game leak? League of Legends developer Riot Games is working on an FPS code-named Project A, but recent details suggest it will be titled Valorant. No, Valorant, right? Is that how you'd say that one?
Valorant, yeah.
Yeah, Valorant. Now, a new screenshot of the game and several of its characters appears to have leaked. Earlier this week, Respawn first pointed to a trademark for Valorant filed by Riot, as well as a Twitter account created around the same time as the trademark @PlayValorant. The account is followed by multiple pro gamers and FPS streamers, despite being a next-to-empty page. Yesterday, a Project A fan account also posted what appears to be a leaked screenshot of the game, featuring a character select screen for a character called Sage. So yeah, Barrett's got this pulled up here. Great job. You see Sage there with her little floating orb. She's got a barrier orb, a slow orb, a healing orb, and resurrection. Great. Brimstone over there too. Viper over there. That screenshot, if legitimate, also appears to confirm characters called Viper and Brimstone alongside a number of character portraits. This design for Sage appears to match up with the previously shown Project A footage of a character that uses a green orb to summon walls and resurrect teammates. Sage's abilities shown in the image match with the footage and place her as functioning something like Overwatch's Mercy or Moira characters. I say that right?
Yeah, you got that.
Like
Moira.
Moira McTaggart. Remember her from X-Men in review?
Or Moira from Arrow, the mom.
Good point.
Yeah.
Riot announced Project A, a PC hero shooter unconnected to the universe of League of Legends, at the end of last year. The game will be set on a near-future Earth and will take the form of a 5v5 shooter with a search and destroy mode. Former Counter-Strike Global Offensive pro Henry G said it felt most similar to CSGO in action. Bless.
Yes.
Does this do anything for you?
I mean, I'm really excited for all the Riot projects they have going on. Like, I'm not a League of Legends person,
Yeah.
and so I've never really gotten the chance to, play a Riot game. And with the announcements that they had this last fall about the different projects they have going on that take place within the League of Legends universe and outside the League of Legends universe, like I think there's a fighting game included in there. Which when they announced that, I looked at it, I was like, dude, that sounds like something that could get me in.
Yeah.
And so all these different projects, I'm excited for. This league stuff. I'm also excited for. Like, I'll be more excited for it if they announce it for console, which I don't think they've announced platforms yet. Like, it's for sure coming to PC because it's Riot and it's a Counter-Strike kind of game. But yeah, like for it to be like a halfway point between Counter-Strike and Overwatch really appeals to me because I definitely love Overwatch. And yeah, as far as the leaks, the characters look cool. It definitely looks stylistically like it's leaning towards Overwatch, even though I don't know if I'd say it has as much character as Overwatch. Like it doesn't look as animated, even though it seems like it's going for that animated style. But with it trying to be with the gameplay trying to be more tactical and more tight and precise, like Counter-Strike, that probably lends that's probably harder to go with that animated art style when you want to have that sort of sharp shooter at the same time. And so I think it looks cool.
When do you think it's getting revealed? Now that these are starting to break through.
Soon.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't...
Riot is one of those companies that doesn't need to wait for anything, right?
Yeah.
They don't need to wait for an E3. They don't need to wait. They have a fucking huge fan base that loves their shit, and like it's gonna make news, obviously.
I believe they said when they announced it in fall that they're going to reveal more information in 2020.
Well, that's now.
Yeah, which we're in 2020, so it could happen any day. And yeah, I think with these leaks, the announcement could be imminent. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game announced for, I'm going to say next year.
Okay.
I don't know if it's ready to release yet. It might release in early access.
I was going to
year.
say, I would see what you do is you announce it really soon. Maybe they were trying to think around GDC.
Yeah.
And we'll see what GDC is going to become.
Yeah.
And then, you get it in early access.
Yeah, or like a beta
right
or something
around
like that.
then. Closed beta. Something if you're into the League of Legends community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you can sign up through that.
Yeah, I can see that happening easily. But yeah, I'm excited for what this game is going to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. Or League of Legends never clicked for me, so to see them move into something that, even though I'm not the biggest FPS fan, get in there and see what it is. Will it expand the audience of what Riot is?
Yeah, like Riot is they're one of those companies where when they say they're going to go for something like this, right, or when they say they're going to make like a multiplayer game or a multiplayer live service game, like I believe
pay attention.
Yeah, I pay attention because I believe that they can make something that is going to last and be resonant and is going to be something that we talk about for a while because people I think this game is going to have a community behind it for a while, like a big community that we have to pay attention to.
And very exciting for Riot to make another game.
Yeah,
because on our side of the industry, everybody calls it the video game retirement home. You go there, you never make anything again. You work on a lot of things, they never actually see the light of day. Good for them. Let's see what happens. Number 3, Paxis has brought us a Borderlands 3 info dump. Number 1, they put up a content roadmap. This is for 2020 spring. It has a whole bunch of stuff, including, of course, the announcement of the new DLC, which is Guns, Love, and Tentacles. This is going to be the marriage of Hammerlock and Wainwright. It's coming in March. It's a paid content add-on similar to Handsome Jack's Casino. It's included with the Season Pass, however, and Super Deluxe Edition. You get a new planet, story, and missions. Fan-favorite characters return, and new legendaries and cosmetics. I'll double back and explain that, but moving on. Mayhem Mode 2.0 is dropping in April. That's free endgame update. Overhauled modifiers, more fun, more loot, more mayhem. If you haven't been paying attention, Mayhem 2 is the one that... Or Mayhem mode in general is what you unlock when you hit the level cap and when you keep playing, and you can go in there and make the game more difficult basically, but you give out different buffs. But you've also, when you get a buff of like 20% more shotgun damage, right, it also usually comes with something like negative 30% pistol damage or whatever, blah blah blah. And they've done away with that, and Mayhem 2.0 is their new vision for it, which will be more fun, I guess, of like you get a buff in big head mode or something else and yada yada, like change the gameplay up that way. Then in April you also get Revenge of the Cartels. It's a free in-game event. Take out cartel operatives, earn unique event rewards, so like the Valentine's Day event, like the Christmas event they had earlier. And then Guardian Takedown comes in May, another free content update, Iridium theme takedown, new challenging bosses, earn unique gear and cosmetics. From what they were saying at the panel, Guardian Takedown is like Malawan Takedown, except this is even harder, which of course Malawan Takedown had the reputation for being punishing as hell. From Borderlands.com, talking about Guns, Love, and Tentacles. Sir Alistair Hammerlock and Wainwright Jacobs are finally tying the knot, and they want you to come celebrate their upcoming nuptials on the ice planet of Zergolos. Those adventuresome lovebirds have chosen a venue that's as exotic as it gets. In the frozen wastes of the new planet, the frozen wastes of the new planet have thinned out all but the most vicious wildlife. And the eerie town of Curse Haven, where you've agreed to meet, is located beneath the colossal carcass of a fallen monster. Longtime Borderlands fans will be happy to see another familiar face when they touch down on Zergolos. Gage, the genius mechromancer from Borderlands 2's DLC, has been on the run as a wanted fugitive for years, accompanied by her loyal robot pal Deathtrap. But never one to leave friends in the lurch, she's graciously taken it upon herself to act as Wainwright and Hammerlock's wedding planner. So that's exciting. March, more missions, more stuff to do. I'm super stoked for that.
Yeah.
Going off of that, even though GameSpot's Gabe Gerwin was in the audience, I think, and had this report, Gearbox has also shared a teaser image for the third DLC expansion. This one will take things in two very different directions, featuring revolver-toting outlaws as well as dinosaurs. Announced as part of its PAX East news, the third campaign add-on hasn't been fully detailed yet, but it will arrive this summer. It's included with the Borderlands 3 Season Pass, and as the image shows, outlaws riding dinosaurs. It should be every bit as goofy and over the top as Borderlands fans expect. So that's cool too. Understanding what the next giant DLC will be. Because I keep playing Borderlands, as you know, Blessing.
Yeah.
I can't stop.
How does it? You played a lot of Borderlands 2 also, right?
Yeah.
How does this compare to the post content for Borderlands 2?
They're doing it on a better rhythm right now of
Okay.
something constantly always happening. They're communicating better. Like there's monthly something going on, it seems, for the most part, right?
Because I know Borderlands has always had DLC drops and like big DLC. Like people always talk about like the D&D DLC that Borderlands 2 had and like the different packs, like the Tiny Teen and stuff.
Yep.
But I never really stuck around to like pay attention to all that stuff. But yeah, this seems like a lot more
This is them
frequent.
taking everything, for as much as Borderlands 3 we played and we're like, man, this is a game from 7 years ago in a lot of respects, right? They definitely, and granted, for the record, as always, remember I host and we produce the Borderlands show. So if you want to take any of my praise of this game that I've put fucking lots of hours into and love, totally, I understand. They, I think, really paid attention to games as service and how they were doing. And even though they are not a games as service, really, you know what I mean? They've done.
Would you say they're not? Because this makes me think that they are.
It's not in the way that like daily login bonuses, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think when you think games as service, it's like, what is happening on the Battle Pass store today? What do I need to log into? Where do I need to go? Whereas this is still event based in so many different regards. And like, Borderlands for me personally 3, like, I love it. I adore it. I can't wait to keep playing more of it. That's why I'm so stoked for the DLC packs, right? Even when they dropped Mallow on Takedown, I tried. I got to it and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm really gonna wait for the big DLC for the casino stuff. And then when that came, devoured all of that with Jen, played through that and the new story stuff. And even now, like, with the Valentine's Day event they put out, it was, go through, shoot the hearts, earn these special unlockables, cosmetics and weapons and things like that. I did all that without hitting the level cap because they increased it by 3. But I'm not that kind of player that just wants to sit there and grind over and over on it. I was like, cool, those levels will be waiting when the next DLC gets here. So I think it's like, whereas like Division's about to drop next week, the Warlords stuff, right? When that happens and they put their battle pass in, I do see me playing a lot of Division and being on there grinding out for those kind of things and seeing if that works the way we think it's going to work and all these different things. I think I can see myself playing that, not every day because we're so busy, but at least once a week to see what's going on and catch up to it. Where Borderlands for me is an event still, where it's like, okay, this is an event. Mayhem Mode 2, and this is a Greg Miller thing. There's tons of people, obviously, that play Borderlands
like
religiously, and are trying to get the best builds and figure out all that crazy crap.
Do you feel like Borderlands 3 would benefit from diving in more and going all the way into like the, hey, here are your daily login bonuses, like that type of games as a service, as opposed to kind of being like more still like a traditional Borderlands game, but with more.
It depends what your metrics of success are, because I think this is, because again, when reviews dropped and it was like, oh, it's still the same humor of 7 years ago, right? But it is and it's still inventory management still 7 years ago in a lot of respects, right? The game sold gangbusters, right? It was like, what was it? I don't want to say 102K. Was it? Barrett, Google me the actual thing for what it was for Borderlands sales for 2K, because it set some milestone. I can't remember if it was 2K's. Then obviously not Take-Two's. What? Yeah, the most recent Borderlands 3 sales stuff. It sold a bajillion copies and it set some kind of stupid thing. So I think on that regard they nailed that, and so then they still have this audience that is still there, and so. The daily login bonuses and all that jazz would drastically change what the game is. Because right now, again, I'm hosting the show and doing all these different things, but I really do pat them on the back, Gearbox, for being so forthcoming and so open with their community and listening to what the community wants and making those changes. Like, even we get to help facilitate that when we get to talk to them and see the moves, but on the Borderlands show, like, they are so frank that they'll answer. You can ask them every episode about cross save, and they're always gonna say the same thing. Like, we're working on it, but it's tough, and there's like, they're not bullshitting. They're not giving you PR answers. Borderlands 3 sells near 8 million copies. Take-Two Interactive announced that Borderlands 3 sales are nearing the 8 million mark. Anticipation for the game. Maybe it's just the most successful Borderlands. I thought there was like a real milestone connected
When
to it
was
at
this
some point.
posted, Barrett?
This was
February 6th, 2020.
So yeah,
Okay.
3
Well,
weeks ago.
you think they would have tossed that in there? So, I mean, 8 million copies.
The other thing I saw was that I think around the time it was coming out, it was selling 50% more than what Borderlands 2 was doing
Here
in
we go.
that same amount of time.
This is what I was looking for. Borderlands, this is MCVU UK. Borderlands 3 has become the fastest selling game in 2K history, shifting more than 5 million units in the opening 5 days. That's what I was looking for. So,
Oh, 2K. Okay, yeah.
not Take-Two.
Sorry, yeah,
Not Take-Two. Not Take-Two. Obviously, GTA. Obviously,
Yeah.
GTA. So it's a measure of success where I think the way they've built this now, the way they continue to do this content roadmap and these plans and tell you ahead of time, and then when things move, be honest about, hey, they moved and that's how it's going to be. I think they're succeeding at being Borderlands in 2020. Now, if they wanted to be Borderlands games as a service, Borderlands, change fundamentally what Borderlands is and how it works, they could go for that and try that. But again, I think that's a huge different ball of wax.
Yeah.
I think right now they're super happy with what they've seen, but who knows? The other news was it's coming to Steam. On March 13th, Borderlands 3 will launch on Steam, complete with PC crossplay with the Epic Game Store.
Oh, nice.
So-
Is that a thing that usually doesn't happen?
Or, I mean,
Because
what,
isn't like a big complaint for Epic Game Stores that people don't like the infrastructure for a multiplayer? I know I'm asking you questions that are probably
yeah,
outside
no,
of
let
our
me
part.
tell you, as PC gaming expert Greg Miller, I mean, the big problem I think, Riot, is that usually they're exclusive to Epic Game Store, and I don't know how many multiplayer games have come out of that. Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Let me know, because like
Yeah.
Division was exclusive over there for a while, right?
Yeah, what I want to know is how often do multiplayer games come out on both Steam and Epic Game Store, and are they usually crossplay between those two platforms?
And then the final one is that you could die in the Borderlands film if you like. Jesse Shadeen? Jesse
Yeah.
from IGN writes in on IGN and says Borderlands is being adapted into a live-action movie, and director Eli Roth wants to pay tribute to hardcore cosplayers by killing them. No, not literally. Roth briefly appeared on stage at the Gearbox PAX East panel to voice his excitement for the project and for the fan community, calling it, quote, a mad, insane family. Roth then noted a desire to honor the community by selecting a handful of cosplayers to appear as extras in the film, where, where their characters can be killed off in suitably Borderlands-esque ways. It's not clear how exactly these cosplayers will be chosen. Gearbox or Lionsgate may announce some sort of formal contest, or the filmmakers may simply reach out to individual cosplayers on a case-by-case basis. Either way, it sounds like fans interested in appearing in the movie would do well to start prepping their costumes before major conventions like E3 and Comic-Con, and getting their Instagram accounts up to date.
That's fun.
Yeah. It's weird that movie's real and it's actually, I guess, gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Video game movies, you hear them all the time. Tom Holland's like, oh yeah, Uncharted's filming in 2 months. It doesn't have a director, Tom.
Yeah.
How is that fucking possible?
The more I sit on it, the more the less I am negative on it. Like the more I think about a Borderlands movie being made by Eli Roth, right, and being made in a style that is very specific and like very violent and very gory. Like if it's like some kind of Borderlands side story and it's just him telling his own story, I feel like it has potential of being good.
I don't even mind it being a side story. You know what I mean? Go ahead and fuck around with Lilith and Claptrap and all that stuff. Like, you can play in that world. I mainly I don't want them to connect at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just think the difficult thing is what we know his style to be and what Borderlands is as a game, and how difficult it would be to kind of translate that into a movie, as far as like, you know, the humor and the characters and the style and the violence and all these different elements that we know Borderlands as. Translating that into like a coherent movie, I feel like can be difficult in a way where if you do a side story and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna do my own Tales from the Borderlands, where it is like this, you know, separate story in the world of Borderlands.
Yeah.
Maybe taking like, I guess, 1 or 2 characters.
You gotta have Claptrap.
I guess you do kind of have to have.
Yeah.
Was Claptrap in Tales though? I don't feel like he was in Tales.
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Loader
Claptrap
Bot
in
stole the
Tales.
shows, and they
Yeah.
had Ashley Johnson's not GLaDOS bot, whatever. Gladys.
Gladys?
Gladys.
Was it Gladys? I think it might have been Gladys.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like if you tell your own story in a way where you don't have to take literally all the elements of Borderlands, and you just focus on, if you want it to be ultra violent, just focus on the ultra violent, like make a Mad Max Fury Road that takes place in Borderlands or something along those lines.
You bring up Tales from Borderlands. I think that's the greatest example.
Yeah.
I remember when they announced that, and I was like, why the fuck would you take Borderlands, a game all about shooting and guns, and put it in a Telltale's talking game? That doesn't make sense. And then I played that game, and I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, it's like my favorite Telltale game.
So that's the thing of like, yeah, if you can do that, go for it, obviously. Make it happen, make sense. Here we go. Zach writes into kindafunny.com/wrong and says, Epic Game Store and Steam players cannot play with each other, but the Division 2 goes through Uplay regardless of what store you bought it from. Bought it on, so all matchmaking is done on the same platform.
Okay.
Okay.
So certain games, specific games can
I guess
make
do
it happen.
Yeah,
and Borderlands 3 is going to find a way.
Wait, the what? Oh, okay. Tom just has a movie rumor for us in line with what we're talking about. But he opens his "You're wrong" with "Knock knock, let the devil in." Ruben Fleischer, Venom, is suspected to be stepping into direct Uncharted.
Oh,
So we'll
thank
see.
God.
It's never going to happen.
It's going to be saved with this director.
Oh, you're being sarcastic. I was going to say, I was like, this movie's not going to come out.
Have you seen Venom?
Oh, no, I've not seen Venom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just talking about specifically the idea that an Uncharted movie is going to make it to a theater.
Nah. It's never going to happen.
Like 2025, maybe. Possibly.
But I'm glad you didn't see Venom. I'm glad you didn't
No, I'm not going to
buy
waste my time.
into them getting a sequel, It was
Sequel's
all
gonna
of our
be pretty
fault.
dope,
I mean,
though,
now-
right? Woody
now
Harrelson,
that's connected
Carnage,
to-
can't wait.
Now it's connected to the MCU.
And now that Spider-Man's gonna be in it probably too.
yeah, I'm going to have to watch
Is it connected
Morbius?
to the
Let's go.
MCU? I don't
mean,
know.
Morbius or whatever his name is. Morpheus? No, that's the
Morbius.
Matrix guy.
Morbius.
Mobius?
Morbius.
Morbius.
I'm saying
Morbius?
it to you. Morbius.
Morbius.
Yes.
But you're saying Morpheus.
no,
You're
I'm-
saying, yeah, you're... What that movie's going
go
to be
home.
connected to the MCU.
Yeah, of course. It
And
is,
so
yeah.
that is...
It's
And
not,
apparently
though.
the PS4 game. It's weird.
Yeah, because the Spider-Man.
and Tom... No, not Tom Holland. Tobey
Tobey
Maguire's
Maguire.
Spider-Man. is in
Toby
there.
Maguire.
That's what I said, Tobey Maguire.
Morbius.
Amon Martin says Claptrap appeared in the last episode of Tales from the Borderlands as a hireable character for the final Vault Hunt. So there you go. Number 4. Epic is swinging hard on SuperData. This is Brendan Sinclair at GamesIndustry.biz. Epic Games is disputing some of the numbers being publicized regarding its free-to-play battle royale shooter,
Whoa.
Fortnite. The company reached out to GamesIndustry.biz today with a statement questioning the methodology of Nielsen's market intelligence firm SuperData. Quote, SuperData does not and has not ever had access to Epic's Fortnite revenue data, and SuperData's reports do not accurately reflect Fortnite's performance, an Epic representative said. Quote, we are disappointed that SuperData has repeatedly published wildly inaccurate reports about Fortnite based on what we believe is questionable methodology. While we do not and have not publicly shared revenue numbers for Fortnite, we will say that SuperData's reports do not align with reality, end quote. The representative specified that the comment was not made in regards to any specific SuperData report. Last week, however, SuperData released a monthly worldwide digital games market report in which it said Fortnite's earnings, quote, continued their gradual decline and hit their lowest level since November 2017, end quote. Then, in update to this article, SuperData responded to Epic's statement saying it has, quote, a proven methodology and validation process in standing behind its previously reported Fortnite numbers.
This is a spicy story.
It's just two fucking companies you
Yeah.
hear about all the time bickering online about it, right?
That's fun. That's funny. That's basically like if somebody is like, oh yeah, like Greg Miller only has 500,000 followers, and you're like, hold up, bitch.
Hold up, you ain't counting that right at
Yeah,
all.
first
You know
of
what
all,
I
I
mean?
got 1 million followers at least.
Yeah, only some of them are bots.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
and
it.
we're not even talking about my Instagram numbers.
Yeah.
And YouTube subscribers. Like that's that kind of attitude coming from Epic.
Yeah, it's
Which
a
I respect.
it's a goofy little tiff in the public, but I want to call it out because we do personally on the show use SuperData a lot. A lot of for people who don't obviously show their numbers all the time, you go to these outlets that are somehow going through, pulling them.
Yeah.
They have methodology. They're putting out information. We're consuming that as if it is Bible truth. It's important to point out that no, it is not. They don't actually have the books for Fortnite. It is very much a guesstimate in some ways, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So believe who you want on that. And then finally, two more people, or a whole bunch more people have. I got 2 bullet points for you today on breaking news of people who've pulled out of GDC. We'll start with Iron Galaxy Studios. They tweeted, as you've probably heard by now, a lot of game companies have canceled travel to GDC this year due to the concerns about coronavirus/COVID-19. Based upon our desire to put everyone's safety first, we have also made the decision to officially pull out. Then, right before we went live today, Amazon Games put up this statement. To our friends across the industry, AWS has made the difficult decision to withdraw from the 2020 Game Developers Conference in San Francisco due to continued concerns over COVID-19. While we won't get to see everyone at GDC this year, we still have exciting things to share. AWS Game Tech has decided to host a global online event open to everyone to showcase our planned content for GDC and more. Look for more details in the coming weeks. We're all part of the same amazing community. Thanks for everything you do. The AWS Game Tech team.
Man. I deleted a tweet this morning, like 2 seconds
That's
after
bad.
tweeting it.
Yeah.
Because, well, I think it was Brittany Braunbacher who tweeted like a picture of like PAX East, and it's like, wow, look at all these people, right? And I quote tweeted it, and it was with a gif of Birdman the rapper doing like the hand the hand rub he does.
Yeah.
And I was like, coronavirus is looking at this image like that. And as soon as I tweeted, I was like, I'm gonna delete that because coronavirus as a fear is becoming such an actual thing, like such a a big thing that is actually affecting the industry in such a
And humanity, yeah.
and I mean, for sure, like number one, affecting humanity, but yeah, it is affecting the industry in ways that people in America the threat isn't there yet, like right now, but it is kind of imminent.
Yeah, totally.
And so I kind of understand the idea that people are pulling out. I think this then leads to the question of when does GDC announce that they're not doing GDC this year.
I still predict it by the end of the day, but it's been fascinating to see people talking about that, because I forget who. Somebody in my Twitter mentions yesterday when I put up my thing, I think by the end of the day it'll be canceled on Friday. They responded like, there's no way that they can't cancel it, because if this is run on a shoestring budget, so if they cancel this, the company that puts on GDC would suddenly go so into the red that it would just go bankrupt and there'd be no more GDC.
Yeah.
And granted, that is a tweet. That is not Bible truth in any way, but you're like, oh, I guess that's true. I don't know. I don't at all understand how insurance works for having to pay for Moscone Center and everything else. But I also can't imagine if GDC goes on, what it's going to look like down there. Like, I made a tweet about it today of, like, the amount of appointments where, last week, I really do feel like I cracked I sat back inside. I was like, it's done. My GDC schedule's planned. There's nothing else we can put in there. And the past 28 hours of deleting things, moving people around, hitting up guests hitting me up and be like, if it's not happening anymore, can we still come on the show, or what is it? It's like so tumultuous right now, figuring out what it's going to be like and what that show is going to look like.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
It's
Also,
a bummer.
It's super weird today. I was thinking about it, we're at that point in the zombie movie where it still hasn't gotten everywhere yet. Because, this morning, Jen's like, oh, man, I'd like a bagel. I'm like, I'll grab you a bagel, bring it back up. So I went down and went around in the neighborhood or whatever. And, I'm walking on the street past people. Some of them have masks on. I get into the bagel thing. It's the CNN TV on with them showing, everybody in their hazmat suits and China moving around. I'm like, this is how it actually would happen. It would actually go down like every movie sold us. Great. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll continue to track that and talk to you about that. There are, of course, questions about coronavirus and E3 coming up. But before that, I want to know where I could go to get a list of games coming to the Mom Grop digital shops. Where would I go, Bless?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today. There's a lot. It's a big Friday. Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Oh.
14, PS4, PC. Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove on Switch. Coffee Crisis on PS4. Stab, Stab, Stab on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Which Barrett was so about. He brought it up already.
Oh, my God.
Stab,
oh,
stab, stab, stab.
Wow.
This thing is violating
it's like
that thing.
2D.
Yeah,
I don't know how to describe this style.
It's like a weird Nidhogg stabby
Yeah, I was
game.
going to say Nidhogg 2 looking.
Yeah. Darrows on PC and Mac. Kingdoms Under Fire, The Crusaders on PC. Bloodroots on PS4, Switch, and PC. Which, by the way, we adore. Bloodroots is so much fun. I put up a tweet about it today. We talked about it on PS I Love You weeks ago when the preview embargo lifted, and now obviously the reviews are out and up and stuff. Such
Very
a great
excited
game.
to play it this weekend.
Such a great game.
Yeah.
One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
I started playing that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's fun.
Okay. Well, ringing endorsement.
I'll talk about it more on PS Love You.
All right. Bucket Night, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Metro Redux on Switch. Loco Sports on Switch. B.A. Walker on Switch. Metro Last Light on Switch. Metro 2033 on Switch. Skull Rogue on Switch. Ski Sniper on Switch. Spartan Fist on Switch and PS4. Profane on Switch. Depiction?
Depiction?
Depiction? Oh, but they
Depiction.
spelled it weird. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Switch. Ritual, Crown of Thorns on PS4. Beer Wagon Rush on PC. Retro Wave on PC. Wallachia. Reign of Dracula on PC. Paper Pirates on PC. Frog Cross Log on PC. Fucking what the fuck. New dates for you. After Party is launching on the Nintendo Switch on March 6th.
I'm curious on how that game is going to run on Switch because it did not run well on Xbox when I played it
Or PS4.
or PS4.
Did anybody make it deep into that game?
No.
I got like an hour in.
Yeah, I got an hour
I think if it comes to when it comes to Switch, I might give it more of a chance. I got an hour in. I really liked what I played.
I was liking what I was playing, but it was the same thing. I shouldn't project. For me, what it was, I was liking what I was playing, but it's just a talky game, right? So
Yeah.
it was that thing of like I was like getting sleepy while playing it, where I was like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like that weird thing where it's not a movie where I can just sit back and be. You got to be part of it,
Sure,
but like
yeah.
you're drowsy, and then I never came back to it.
Yeah, that was one of the few instances where Alyssa actually sat down and like watched me play the game and stuff, and was really into it. And it's one that I want to go back to. But yeah, I think I just wasn't in the mood for a walking around and talking to everybody kind of game. You know.
Thank you. Ew. It's time for Reader Mail. You can, of course, write in at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, or for a more direct link, go to kindoffunny.com/Patreon. Of course, when you go there, you can get the show ad-free. But speaking of ads,
Did you say
Greg,
Kind of Funny Games /Patreon?
fuck, did I?
Yeah, you did. Patreon.com/KindofFunnyGames.
No, I said that.
Yeah.
And then I said you can go to kindoffunny.com/Patreon.
I think you said Kind of Funny Games /Patreon.
I'm trying to make it easier because people, and I'm making it more complicated.
Because
you know?
I want to know if that was an actual link because I'll start
we
saying
don't have
it.
that. We don't have
No.
that.
Kindoffunny.com/Patreon.
Yeah, kindoffunny.com/Patreon. It goes there, and then it's like the link tree, and you can click on what tier you are, and it's easier to get in.
Yeah.
Because I saw somebody for our PS I Love You underrated. He's like, I couldn't figure out how to submit, and that breaks my heart. Because when you go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, this is an ad now for us. You go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and you subscribe or whatever. Then there's the thing. We have the hashtag participation posts you can click on. It'll take you there, and you can do that. But I understand there's a lot of things going on. I understand it's tough. Anyways, speaking of ads, Gregway, this episode of the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show is brought to you by the Besties. Hey, listeners, we know you love all things video games, so we want to tell you about a Spotify original podcast called The Besties. Every Friday, that's today, the creators of The Adventure Zone, Justin and Griffin McElroy, are joined by their two best friends and hardened video game reporters, Rush Frustrick, one day I'll get it, and Chris Plant. To deep dive on a single new video game. If you have been a fan of Polygon, you know these guys. They co-founded it. Plus, the Besties cover all the major moments in video games in 2020, from new console launches to Cyberpunk 2077 and beyond. And at the end of the year, they do complete showdowns, pitting the top games of the year against one another to get to the top game of the year. It's pretty epic. But the Besties couldn't do it without their fans who write in each week with all sorts of goofy suggestions. It's like a book club for video games. Go support Justin. We love him. He's been so good to us with Oration. This is the least you can do. You can find the Besties on Spotify, which also has all your favorite podcasts, including this one, and music, all for free. Listen to the Besties for free only on Spotify. And then it's the Gaming Ride Home podcast. I want to tell you about a great new gaming podcast. It's the Gaming Ride Home podcast. It is video game news, all the headlines, rumors, reviews, hardware leaks, release date confirmations, people dropping out of GDC because of coronavirus, and more. Delivered to you every day at 5 p.m. Perfect for your commute home. The show is hosted by former Game Informer and IGN writer Kyle Hilliard, and it's only 15 to 20 minutes long. It's like too long, didn't read as a service. Kyle is online all day reading all the tweets, reading all the rumor blogs, consolidating all the chatter around the entire world of gaming so that he can catch you up on everything that happened while you were having a busy, busy life. This is the latest show from the Ride Home Podcast Network, the daily news podcast, folks, celebrating 2 years and 25 million downloads. Search your podcast app right now and subscribe to the Gaming Ride Home. There's no the Gaming Ride Home. Gaming Ride Home podcast. I think I got it.
You got it.
Okay, good.
People know.
Oh man, I'll tell you 9 days this week.
Dude, we're almost there, man. Friday.
Friday indeed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get some questions. They're both in the same thing. So I'm going to read them back to back because I like both of them and they'll just get one giant discussion. Got
Okay.
it?
Got
that
it.
make sense?
Yes. I'm with you.
Can't believe you're wearing OK Beast. Wesley LeBlanc writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, with regards to the developer exodus of GDC, can a company pull out of GDC and not E3? It can't be great on optics for a company to pull out of GDC and not E3, considering E3 will have even more people, require more travel probably, and be in California, parentheses, which as of today has a new count of 33 confirmed cases.
Oh, no.
Or COVID-19 in the States. Oh, 4, I think they meant. Do you feel E3 will be affected by the coronavirus in the same way GDC has been? Then, continue our coronas here. Did you see 38% of people are like, I will not buy Corona.
38% of people are fucking morons.
Come on, where is this poll being done? anakinjmt writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, with so many companies pulling out of events and citing worries of coronavirus as a reason, this got me thinking, could this possibly end up impacting E3? The International Olympics Committee recently said it's going to give Japan 3 months to get prepared to protect athletes from coronavirus worries during the Summer Games in Tokyo. That's July 24 to August 9. E3 is in June. Could we start to see companies pull out of E3 in the next few months? And if so, could this be what actually kills E3? As companies that would have been there suddenly realizing they don't need E3 either and wouldn't return next year.
My favorite tweet about the 38% thing was Matt Kim from IGN at Law of TD tweeted, "Gonna spend GDC drinking Corona in SF Chinatown. Who's with me?" I thought it was pretty funny. E3, I mean, it all comes down to how this progresses, right? Like within the next few months, if coronavirus kind of settles out and like dies down, then yeah, E3 will be okay. But yeah, if this continues, I don't see an option but to pull out of E3 for these companies.
Well, how long do you think you have to give them runway for that, though? You know, I think that's one of the big questions is like, how much time do you give before you say we're not going to E3? Because I feel like that's the thing so many people are running into right now. Adam Boyes from Iron Galaxy tweeted today, right? Like, asking GDC to reconsider their refund policies because of like, you know, people are dropping out of their health. They should be okay to do this, right? And I didn't look into it too deeply, but it is that question of, I saw Schreier, I think yesterday tweeting too, after he said he's not coming to GDC, being like, if they're going to, or maybe it wasn't Schreier, maybe it was somebody else. I could be talking about my ass on that one, but somebody was talking about like, if GDC clearly has to be canceled, the longer you wait, the more expensive it is for everybody who is going to go. And so it is this question even for E3 then to sit there and go like, when does E3 decide we aren't doing E3, or when do you as a company have to decide?
Yeah, it's tough because I think for them, they have to take the chance, I feel like, right? To like see how long they can buy their time to see if it's worth it to continue the event. Because for them to canceling E3 could have, you know, the effects we're talking about for GDC of how does that affect the future? Like, does GDC go on to continue when throwing on GDC for a year costs so much money and they're losing all that money by canceling and thus, you know, possibly just ruining the event, like the whole conference, right? What effect does that have on E3? Does that then if E3 doesn't go on this year, does E3 still continue to go on at all?
I don't think so. And I think you're already seeing it right with what we were reading from Amazon saying like, oh, we're going to do our own online thing. I see that, and a lot of the demos that are getting canceled that I had booked for us already are being replaced with, hey, we're canceling it, but we're going to do live demos over the internet, right? I think once people do that, and once the demos on their own, and then once they do their own events and stuff, I think suddenly you do have to think of like, oh, why were we going to spend so much money?
Like this works. Like why are we going to?
GDC again is like a recruitment tool for game developers. It is a place for the industry to come together, learn from each other, right, in the workshops and stuff. Outside of that thing I was telling you about that I have no actual information on, of if they cancel GDC, does the company go bankrupt and there's no more GDC?
Yeah.
If that isn't the case and that's not a real threat, GDC will be here next year. There'll be a GDC. But if everybody pulls out of E3 and starts doing their own showcases, right? Again, like for the full on, for full disclosure, Kind of Funny was not planning on doing an E3 Kind of Funny game showcase this year, right? If E3 got canceled, I would definitely do one of like, okay, cool, let us help you, because obviously the indies aren't going to be able to go do that and make that. They can do the desk side or whatever, the demos online and stuff. But I'd gladly house that, and I would gladly use our platform to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely scarier for E3 because you know, over the last few years, even over the whole generation, it seems that each year E3 is serving less and less and less a purpose, right? Like that week is still crazy because people are like, Nintendo does their direct, Microsoft throws their event in the Microsoft Theater, Sony just doesn't go at this point anymore, right? But we see people quote unquote activate during that week of E3, but the actual event of E3 of people going to demo games, right? Like that, it serves that purpose, but people can do that else. As you're saying, people can do that in other ways. Yeah. Whereas GDC kind of still serves that purpose of networking. And so I have more worry for E3 than I do with GDC
100%.
when it comes to this.
I think it could, honestly, on top of E3 bleeding out in general and being wounded, let's not even say bleeding out, being wounded and bleeding. If E3 got canceled or enough companies pulled out and figured out, oh, hey, it's way easier for us to do this on our own, that'd be huge. And then the other person in this that I think is a huge player and could change it all is Jeff Keighley. Where even at last year, remember the Game Awards, like Jeff talked openly about like, hey, and like if you go on Steam right now, like however many of the games are there being demoed, and he said like this is something we're going to expand hopefully to the consoles next year and do this whole thing. Like he was working on that, right? Like if E3 shows even more weakness here and can't do it, I definitely think you see Jeff move in a good way, right? And be like, cool, I have the backbone and the talents to do this, where it's like, we're gonna do a smaller Game Awards kind of thing. That's maybe a showcase or a direct, or maybe not even. And instead, we're just gonna say the demos that people were gonna put out there, we're hosting and putting out here. And like, there's a million different ways that all you need to do is shake the system and foundation we're all so used to, and suddenly it would be off to the races, wild west of everybody being like, I can do this a million different ways, not the way we were saying we had to.
You would know this better than I would. Does E3 serve a purpose in terms of timing? Like, does June hold any significance as far as people showing off, their games, their consoles, all that stuff? Because at one point,
in the old days, in the old days, it was that you would go to this and retailer stuff would go there and be like, here's what's going to be coming to stores. I need to figure out how much I need to pre-order, that kind of thing. That's faded away for the most part, right? It is, here's the big news, here's the big announcements.
Because at what point does like Opening Night Live then replace E3, right?
Gamescom?
And like Gamescom then replaces like this, like as far as people activating and people, showing up in press conferences and people tuning in. Like at one point,
but even that, right? That's
overtake?
where it the dominoes again to this question of like, if you pull out of one, don't you have to pull out of them all? Like Gamescom, I think would also be suspended for the year if that's going to happen.
Really?
I mean, like, why would it be E3 and not that? Well, huh?
Well, I'm sure.
Like Gamescom would way likely be.
Well, I'm trying to think in terms of timing, right? I feel like E3 is kind of imminent as far as it being a few months away. Right? And
I mean, Gamescom is only 2 months after that.
Yeah, but that's still
and it's 10 times bigger than the E3.
Yeah, but I don't. This is me speaking from somebody who doesn't know how coronavirus and like viruses like this tend to last and tend because like for E3, right? I feel like there's a higher chance that coronavirus affects E3 as far as timing than something that is like 5 months, 6 months away. But still, like, not saying that coronavirus isn't going to affect it or that it can't affect it, but timing likelihood. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
I was talking to people yesterday about it, right? And there's this thought that it's going to get worse before it gets better. And so I don't think coronavirus is forgotten about by the time we get to E3. So I think that also speaks to what PlayStation said when they were the canary in the coal mine about all this, that they were pulling out, and it was literally like, listen, we don't know what it's going to be like in 2 weeks, so we're not going to PAX and we're not going to go to GDC. Like I think it's a similar question here of you don't know what it's going to look like, but I have a feeling it's going to get worse. And so if it's only going to get worse in April, and there's way more confirmed cases in America, and there's a whole bunch of things shut down, and like not shut down like full stop of life, but like it's a real thing here, and we are battling and worrying about it. Like being in safe. April, right, 2 months out from E3, like you'd have to be like, all right, fuck, we definitely aren't doing that.
Man,
there's a lot of it, and like so much of it is precautionary. Of like people who I was having conversations with last night or whatever, or throughout the day, I guess, talking about the idea of like, oh yeah, we're filling out questionnaires at work of like, could you work from home and this kind of thing, and it's all like, I think it's learning from what's already happening in the world and trying to apply that here of like, how can we limit all this stuff? How do we limit people's exposures? How do we keep everything running as normal but not risk everybody? And so I think E3 becomes a huge risk. I think Gamescom is a gigantic risk. Especially because, I mean, you want to talk about like
people
bringing people together from a whole bunch, because that's the whole thing is like in America, right? It's been this thing. Well, have you been connected to China, right? Like, because that's where it all started and where it was so bad, right? And as that continues to spread, then you get into all right, different countries are going to handle their borders in different ways. And then when you get to Gamescom and having like all of Europe come together in one thing, like one country isn't treating the same as another country isn't treating like. It's a nightmare.
Yes, scary time.
It's a very, very nightmarish scenario. Let alone, for people's lives, obviously. Let alone for trying to plan any kind of fucking event here.
Well, I also bring up Gamescom for the Jeff Keighley involvement too.
Yeah, I know.
Totally.
Yeah,
we're talking about that versus E3, where Jeff Keighley seems like he's all the way out of E3. He's not touching it right now.
I'm out.
He could still do that the online demoing and all that stuff, right? That carry out that idea through Gamescom and Game Awards, right? Do it through the events that he cares about. I think it's gonna within the next few years, we're gonna see like interesting switch ups in terms of how we paint certain events to be more important than others.
Yeah.
Right. And so I could easily see E3, because we've had E3 dying for the last like generation. I could see E3 becoming way less important now, or way less important, period. And then the way in which we look at as an industry and as an audience, right? The way we look at Gamescom to rise more. Because I feel like Gamescom, in terms of like the general gamer, people don't really pay attention as far as like us in America.
I'm with you, right? Like, let's say E3 did get canceled, right? Or just it's a shadow itself, nobody goes. But yeah, a vaccine has been figured. We've nipped it in the butt, I guess, of coronavirus. Or we stopped it, I guess, more than that. And Gamescom gets to happen, then people are going to be so starved for a real quote unquote event that they'd be super stoked for that, right? And like everybody tune in and do something with it. Blessing.
Yes.
It's time to squat up. Except none of you send in squat ups overnight. Remember, you have to squat up every time. We, especially with all the hosts we have rotating through, you can't go back and
There was
look.
no squat up yesterday either.
Cowards.
I think people are just all squatted up.
Guys,
I think
for the record, I know we've been talking about how to protect yourself from coronavirus. Squatting up online is not, you won't shake hands in real life.
We've succeeded. They've all squatted up.
They've all squatted up. Everybody who wanted to play games. Next week, if you want to play games with people, go to kindafunny.com/Patreon. You can, of course, submit your PSN name, whatever, Xbox name, Steam name, Nintendo code. Nobody's submitting their Stadia. Okay, come on.
Squat up with me on Guilt or Jilt or whatever that is.
For You're Wrong, we ask people watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames to go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. We did pretty well at keeping them all updated as we went. However, Yosemite writes in and says, deal alert, you're not a You're Wrong. You can get a 3-month Xbox Game Pass Ultimate code on Amazon for $24.99, regularly $44.99. Codes are stackable. Credit to Patrick Maka.
Wait, how many months?
You can get 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Ultimate, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was going to say, because, okay, that makes sense.
And that's all we missed, apparently. So
Really?
now, yeah. Well, I mean, we corrected the other stuff as we went.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And some people were like, one guy said, you missed that Ding Dong XL came out today. And I'm like, it's already been on phones and Switches, so that's not enough, and PCs, that's not enough fucking information. That's what I call a waste of my time and yours.
You know what we also missed? New SpongeBob SquarePants Rehydrated info came out today, too.
Dude, did you see the booth?
What's the info?
It's just like more details on the Horde mode.
There's a Horde mode in SpongeBob?
That they're like bringing for this remaster, and like they're implementing.
Is it like a bunch of planktons that he has to like?
Well, it's all the
against?
robots and shit.
Oh, like
that you're
Plankton's
fighting,
robots.
and then they're adding the Squidward robot boss fight that was cut from the original game to Horde mode. It's not. They're not too certain if that's being added to the actual game. Itself.
I remember watching like a YouTube video on that. I forget who made it, but I remember like
and then
it was like an unseen 64.
This is
or
also
something
just
like
being reported from like PAXs from people going to the booth and stuff. It seems like the release window is summer. So there you go.
Great. Love you. Let's run you through hosts for next week. Monday, me and Blessing.
Oh.
Tuesday, the reign of Blessing begins.
Oh no.
Blessing and Imran.
Oh.
Wednesday, Blessing and Witta.
Oh.
Thursday, Blessing and Tim.
Oh.
Friday, Blessing and Imran.
Oh.
You got to do it all, brother.
Every day.
I'm in Canada.
They're gonna be sick of. Are you in Canada?
Yeah, it's Tuesday night I'm taking off. So I got Tuesday I got to do in review and then Kind of Funny podcast. 2 shows a day. I can't be cranking through everything.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But Tuesday night, I'm gone. You got to take care of everything for me, okay?
All right. It's gonna be a different show by the time you get back.
Gamescast is happening Wednesday at 2 p.m. on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You can watch live what franchises need to come back from the dead. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your final Kinda Funny Games Daily for the week. But the fun isn't over yet. We have a post-show topic from the one and only 2038 Pokemon CEO. So stay tuned on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames for that. Of course, you can go there, get the show ad-free. You can go there and just toss us a couple bucks. You can ask a question if you want. You can squat up if you want. But you can just say, hey, you guys are doing a good job. Here's a buck or two. A buckaroo.
Nice.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. We're also a reminder that we're also streaming today at 2 p.m.
Fortnite.
Yep.
Yeah. We're like, oh, Blessing's going on IGN stream and he's wearing a shirt that's not kind of funny. We're fighting him. We're going to go against him.
I don't think that was the mentality when we...
It is now.
Yeah, okay,
it is now, all right? Fortnite, me and Andy Cortez, a party mode for you.
LKBeast.com/store.
Jesus Christ, he just keeps doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, until, subscribe, like, share, all that jazz, leave reviews. You know how it works. It's Friday. It's fucking day 9 of this week. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.